What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the very first interview episode of Inside the Mecca. I worked very hard on trying to get the special guest for the very first episode, someone who I know I had worked with in the past, and I know what his resume stands on the high school level with basketball, collegiate level. It's impressive, man. So I thought, why not? Let me introduce somebody who I know. And can give me that energy that I'm looking for. And without further ado, man, Mr. Mustafa Jones, Harlem native, man, welcome to the show.
What's going on, guys? Thank you for having me, Titus. I appreciate it. It's an honor and privilege to be here, man. Thank you.
Oh man, it's the privilege is all mine. Like I said, your name is cemented in New York City basketball, Catholic high school basketball. And as much as you don't want to pat yourself on the back, I'll do it for you, man. This dude was a showstopper on the high school level, man. Someone who I looked at from the stands and I just admired his athletic ability and his size and his ability to stretch the floor, if need be. First of all, I want to give a shout out. Happy birthday. Without anything, happy birthday to you, 27. How did you spend your day yesterday, man?
Well, I actually worked yesterday.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool though. It's cool.
Okay.
I officiating. We'll get into that a bit later, but I took some games yesterday. I watched my brother get a win yesterday against Virginia, and he got a big interception yesterday, so that was big. And yeah, I went out to eat last night with my girlfriend, and then after that we went out and we had a good time last night. We went out somewhere in Brooklyn, and
Okay.
yeah, it was cool.
That's what's up, man. Like I said, well deserved, man. Especially for the type of person I know that you are that puts in a lot of work, and for have a special day for you to just do whatever you want to do. It's well deserved, man. But let's get right into it. I'm gonna start right at the high school level, man. You attended Cardinal Hayes High School. You played for the legend. If you, I don't want to, I'm putting that title on him, Mr. Joe Lods, Coach Joe Lods. And I'm gonna stick specifically on your senior year season because I think that was the most impressive. That the team displayed 23-1 season, finished first place in the Catholic AA League. Was ranked 5th in the state, man. That's pretty impressive, especially during that time when you guys had some big names, not just in the Catholic High School Association, but also all around the country. So that's huge to be labeled 5th in the state. And then I don't know if you're aware of this, but you guys were very dominant your senior year season. And I did some math to find out the point differential of how much you guys were blowing teams out that year. And I came up to the average. You guys are winning games by 16 points a game in your senior year season. Like, that's straight destruction. Like, you guys are blowing by guys. I looked at some of your old records. Like, I'm seeing Ohalo's 34-82. Like, I'm like, damn. I just had to be honest. First question, but what was it like playing your senior season at Cardinal Hayes High School?
Well, like you said, I mean, we were just out there having fun. We had a stacked roster from top to bottom. I think from the first player on the roster to the 15th player on the roster was capable to go out there and have a night. So we were definitely privileged in that factor. But I think having 3 years for myself individually, I just feel like having 3 years under my belt playing varsity, playing under Joe Lowe's system, going through those practices, being able to learn and mature from the older guys that were ahead of me. Leading up to that year, I really felt like that was the best year that we were going to have as far as an opportunity to go ahead and win it all. We unfortunately didn't get a chance to do that, but leading up to it, we definitely felt like we had the perfect roster. We had some great coaches on the staff. And, like I said, I just felt like it was our time, and we were just out there having a good time and playing amongst each other. We had that camaraderie as we were coming up playing together. So we just felt like that year was definitely our year to go ahead and do it.
Man, I think anybody that wasn't a Cardinal Hayes, either student, alumni, or fan, we all thought that was the year for you guys to do it, just because of the success you guys had. I'm gonna go a little bit later on. I'm gonna speak on this one moment that I witnessed as a freshman year watching you guys play. But as a graduate of Cardinal Hayes High School, what does it mean to be a part of the Cardinal Hayes basketball legacy? When you look back at it in this point of your life.
I mean, I'm almost 10 years removed from being a graduate of Cardinal Hayes. There have been so many teams that have come after, after I graduated, but to see what we kind of emulated as like the culture of Hayes basketball, to see it grow the way it did and where it is today, especially with like NIL deals and all these opportunities that high school basketball players are now getting the chance to receive. It's just like it's crazy, but to see it happen at Hayes is huge. Like to
Right.
see these kids go out there and get paid it's amazing. But not like money aside, I just felt like the culture and the legacy of Hayes basketball is definitely growing, and I definitely feel honored and privileged to let people know, like, yeah, I'm a part of that legacy, and I was able to go through, my 4 years of high school and be a part of that culture, and now, like I said, to be like almost 10 years removed from it now, to say that I was a part of that, it's amazing.
Oh man, I'm pretty sure it is amazing. Someone who, I'll be honest, man. Like when I was a freshman going to the school, not even a freshman, I was deciding where I wanted to go. And I came to the open house one day, and I seen you guys practicing. I seen you, Coach Lods, Nathan, AJ. You know all of them. AJ, Shavar, Chris Rob, Morley. I saw all y'all. Yeah, I was there, and I'm like, yeah, bro, this is where I'm gonna go to school. Like I chose my school off of watching you guys practice. Um, and now ultimately I didn't make the team and thing like that, but that's down the line. That doesn't matter. But just to see you guys being, locked in and you buying into, family, the family mindset, is was a huge reason as to why I decided to go to Cardinal Hayes. But how did your experience playing for Coach Loads, shape your understanding from the standpoint of teamwork and collaboration on the court?
Well, those practices were intense. I mean, they definitely are for the next level. To see all the talent and skill players that we had all the way like from my sophomore year, junior, senior year, it was so much talent. Practices were very competitive. He pushed us to our furthest abilities, and like nothing was given to you. You had to earn everything, and I had to learn that coming into it. I mean, I felt like coming into high school, even like playing my freshman year, it was like so easy and everything was, everything was easy. But once I jumped to that next level and I was playing varsity, I'm playing against guys like Jalen Jenkins and Amadou Sidibe and Ramil Coleman and other guys that are way more talented, way more physical. Like it was like a eye opener for me, and like I cherish that experience because it taught me that like nothing's given to you. You got to go out there and earn everything. So I appreciate Coach Lowe's for that. I appreciate all the players that I played with at Hayes, and it definitely molded me for the next level for sure.
Who would you give the most credit to for, shaping your game or giving your game, a leap from, say, your sophomore to junior year? Who was that guy that, really
It
gave
was
you that? Okay.
definitely Jalen Jenkins, I would say. Like I think me and him had like similar games coming up. Like he was a forward that played like down low, but he can handle the ball. He can shoot the three ball. He can shoot the mid range, create. And I played behind him, so I felt like that was somebody that I was chasing after every day. Because like he was the senior my sophomore year that was getting all the recognition, and
Right.
He had something to prove at at that point in time. So like being able to learn behind him and like really see how he molded and shifted his game to prepare him for the next level really molded and prepared me for like what I was stepping into once he left.
Can you discuss any memorable moments from your senior year that will always stand out to you, whether it was a game, a big time play from your senior year? What moment sticks to you to this very day?
Honestly, it's not a positive moment. The that sticks with me my senior year was our loss on senior night. Like we were undefeated. It was the last game of the season. Uh, we had our families come out. They brought us flowers.
Everything, the photos.
It was supposed to be the big shebang ending, and we lost on like a buzzer beater at the end. We played horrible. That's the one moment that I won't forget, like from my senior year, because we were so much better than that, and we let that one game slip away, and it was like probably the most memorable game that we were probably gonna have because it was our last game like ever at Hayes. So the fact that we dropped the ball in that was tough. That's probably my most memorable like moment from my senior year.
Oh man, Nah, because that's a great answer, man. Because most people would say they would shy away from the bad moments and focus on the good. The fact that you still stood on that, it still stays with you to this day. That one loss, it shows to the level of the level of competition or that you were willing to go to. That you didn't really care about the previous wins. You guys were focused on winning every single game. Do you guys still have those conversations between you and your former teammates? Chris Robb, you, Shavar, Morley. Do you guys still have those conversations to this day?
Not really,
Mm.
but we still have a very close relationship, and I appreciate those guys forever. We're gonna have a brotherhood for the rest of our lives, and I appreciate that more than anything. Like, I mean, we obviously know what we did our senior years, and even our time, like, entirely at Hayes, we know what we
Mm-hmm.
did, and I just feel like the fact that we were able to continue that bond, that brotherhood, years after us graduating and no longer playing with each other. That's the beautiful thing that I appreciate from like playing with those guys.
I'm pretty sure you guys, even though you guys did blow past a couple teams, you guys blew out some teams out the water. There were some games that you guys got up for, you was amped up for, and you guys wanted to make a statement. And I call those games rival games. Okay, um, who was the Cardinal Hayes rivals back when you was playing in at Cardinal Hayes High School? What team was you getting up for to play against?
So you're definitely getting up for Christ the King, right? I mean, obviously they've been at the
Ooh.
top of the food chain of the Catholic League for a long time. Maybe not as of recent, but definitely when I was coming up in high school,
Mm-hmm.
especially when I was playing on the varsity level, it was always Christ the King. So you got up for Christ the King, you got up for Bishop Lachlan. I knew a lot of guys that played on Bishop Lachlan, so like I definitely got up for those games. But the biggest rivalry I definitely have to say it was St. Raymond's for sure.
There
As you
you go.
know, it's the two biggest teams in the Bronx. The energy is crazy. The
Oh
fans show
man.
out, coming out for both parties. It was amazing. And shout out to Tory Ferg. I actually seen him yesterday
Oh
at one of
really?
my bank, and it's funny that we're having this conversation now because he reminded me like, yo, we just had those battles back in the day, right? And I was like, it's funny that you say that because I'm about to get on this. I'm about to get on my man Titus show today and talk about
Hey,
it.
bring
So
it up. Yeah, man.
no, I think St. Raymond's for sure because like we play St. Raymond's more than one time. You play Bishop Lachlan and Christ the King and Archbishop Malone. You play
Mm-hmm.
them maybe one time a year, and you may see them in the playoffs. But
Boy,
St.
Rays
Raymond,
was like three.
exactly. They come into your crib. You go in their house. You going back to their house. Like it was a super duper rivalry. So definitely St. Raymond's.
Oh man, and I was waiting for you to say St. Rays because I was gonna say it if you ain't say it because that was the game that I'm speaking about. I'm pretty sure Chris Robb, last minute buzzer beater, half court. I'm like, yo, take me through that game, the posts and leading up to that shot. What was going through the Cardinals mindset? What was Coach Joe Lodes telling you guys? Like, just walk me through it.
So it's funny that you mentioned that. So that was my junior year, right? We
Wow.
we had a horrible week of practice. A horrible
Mm,
week. It was like I think Coach Lowe's kicked us out of practice maybe Wednesday of that week because we weren't
that wasn't it. That wasn't yourselves.
taking it as serious as we needed to. Like you said, this is a big rivalry game. Like St. Raymond's has always had a great program.
Always.
They're gonna come up for every. They're gonna show up for every game. They're not gonna just back down because they're playing whoever, and especially us. So they're definitely gonna be at their best.
Right.
And we're playing at their house, so they were gonna have the momentum with the crowd behind them. St. Raymond's has a beautiful facility. It's
It's
packed in
nice.
there.
It's nice.
You hear a thing. You can't hear a thing. So we weren't ready for that, and it was a really close game. It was back and forth, back and forth. Tyler Wilson fouls out, right?
I
So
remember
now,
that.
so now we're short of point guard, and it was just back and forth, back and forth. I think Tory hits a big shot. Tory hits a big shot at the end. Before it might have been like 3 seconds left in the game, he hits a big shot. They think it's over.
Yep.
Chris
I think
Rob
everybody
grabs,
thought it was over.
Chris Rob grabs the ball and hits a crazy shot at half court. I remember
Mm.
he was at the bottom of the pile and he was yelling at, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Like everybody's on top of him. He literally was about to collapse. Like he couldn't breathe. I remember my dad grabbing him from like underneath the pile and putting him on his shoulders. And there's a crazy
No.
picture out there. You got to find it. There's a crazy picture out there. My dad has Chris Rob on his shoulders, and Chris Rob is just like hoorah at the crowd. It was crazy.
That right there, I think, sent headlines in New York City for like a good week or two, because that's all you saw on MSG Varsity, Bronx 12 Sports for that entire weekend. And it was a Friday night too, if I'm not mistaken. So
Absolutely.
you knew it was just the energy was just going to be high, and that was just a way to just end it off. Chris Rob, shout out to you. I still remember that shot, bro, to this day. Speak on his game and what that said about his game for being able to take that shot right then in that moment.
Chris Rob, shout out to Chris Rob, man. That's my brother. I love Chris Rob. He is never afraid to take the big shot. He's never afraid of the big moment. He was ready. He was ready his sophomore year to like step in those moments,
Shoes.
step in them shoes and be in those moments. And he was definitely a person that I can recall a few times. I remember a short story. We were in Coral Springs for like a holiday tournament in Florida,
Okay.
and we were playing. This is our sophomore season. We were fresh off the plane, and we were playing this real physical team from Florida, and we were supposed to lose. Chris Rob gets a steal at the end of the game, gets to lay up at the buzzer, we win. Like he's just one of those guys. Like he's not afraid of the moment. He was a go-getter. He was real aggressive. He was a great shot creator. He had a 3-point jump. Like he was a hooper. I love Chris Rob, man. He was great.